I spent one whole week learning Blender. Just to answer the question, can you learn Blender in a week? And with that, welcome to Learning Blender Day 5. Let's get right into it. The last days I made some vegetables and something to cook them, but now I need something to eat them on. So I first started with a plate. For that I added a simple circle, filled it up with F, and then scaled it up to make a pretty good form for a plate. Moved the middle face down, then scaled it outwards, then scaled it outwards again, and with that I already had a very good form for a plate. But it did look quite simple, so I shaded it smooth, that it already was better, and I moved to the next one. I'm doing another plate with another shape, so I don't just use the same one every time. I use scaling again, but this time I scaled it less before and more after. With that I got this shape. Then with scaling it up and scaling it outwards again, I made this type of form, and I think it looks pretty good. With that, my two plates were already done. I really see my improvement. On day one, it would have took me hours to do this. Next, I'm going to build a soup plate. For that, I scaled it up a lot more than the plates, then scaled it outwards to make this kind of soup plate shape. Then scaled it in, and I had a pretty good shape, but I wasn't quite happy with the topology, and also it looked very unrealistic. So I started again. I used the circle again and scaled it up. This time I wanted to do it a little bigger and more realistic, like the IKEA ones. I filled the middle, shaded it smooth, and it already looked good, but the edges were very sharp, like you could actually cut your finger with touching that. First I scaled it up to make it more thick, but this weird square was there. So I did it again, and then the square was gone. I don't even know why it was there before, but now the edges are still very sharp. So I beveled them, and with that I had the perfect form for a soup plate. Now we are moving to the biggest model I made so far. I genuinely almost spent the whole day on this. I did a form for it, and I think you can already see what it is, at least from the reference picture. I started with doing a coffee machine, but you were not even able to pour some coffee. So the next thing I've done is expanding the top to be able to put some coffee bean containers up there. After the space for the containers was there, I needed a container. So I made a little cup, put it into the scene, but it looked more like a glass and not really a container for the coffee beans. So I started with expanding the top and building a lid out of it, so it looks like an actual container and you're even able to open it. I realized the second one was still a glass, because I first wanted to build a glass, but that doesn't really fit right now. When building the end scene for today, I changed the texture. So I replaced the other old one with a new one, and my coffee bean containers were done. Next, I started with the actual pouring of the coffee. So I extruded the front, extruded it down a bit, divided it into 4 pieces to make space for the spouts, and then I started with adding the spouts. I used a little cylinder because it was already in the right form, sized it correctly, and with extruding and scaling I was able to create a very good form for it. Then I used the mirror modifier to place them into each corner, but I realized my origin was not placed correctly, so I placed it between the two. Then used the mirror modifier again, and with that my spouts were done and my coffee machine was ready to do some coffee. Because I had more time today, I was able to create a lot more details into this model. So I started with doing a socket for the coffee machine, because of course it needs some energy source. I first extruded inwards, then used the inset tool with I, and extruded it again inwards. Then I used some cylinders, placed them into it. At the end, I used the Boolean modifier I learned yesterday And with removing this little bug, it was looking pretty good. But I still felt like something was missing. So I tried the text tool for the first time, and I have to say, it was good in some way, but the writing was pretty strange. But I managed to do something. I wrote my name on it, placed it onto the coffee machine, and it was looking pretty good. It looked almost like it was engraved into the coffee machine. Then, because of fun reasons, I added some more texts with a random ass website. And with that, I was very happy with my coffee machine. But something to actually pour the coffee into was missing. So I started with doing that. I used the glass I made before and then started with the pain of creating a handle for it. This is sped up a lot. I tried to do it multiple times. This one is the best I got. It doesn't look great, but it's fine, I guess. With that, it was done. I used the last 30 minutes I had and placed them all into a scene, and at the end of the day I had this result. If you ignore the weird rendered shadows, especially in the soup plate, I think it looks pretty good, and especially the coffee machine was a lot of work. I'm very proud of myself, and this was, I would say, the best day so far. But with that, it sadly comes to an end. Now there's only too much left. I wonder what I will be able to do. But to end it, I wish you guys a nice day, see you tomorrow, and bye.